Coming up on today's show, I'll be joined by Jodie Breakwell to speak about nutrition and the importance of a good diet structure. But first, joining me in the studio is Edwina Jenner. Edwina, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? You okay?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, how was your journey in?
Super quick, actually. Not bad at all.
Good. Just local around the neck of the
Local
west?
and easy. Yeah, love being back in London, though.
Great. Perfect. So, Edwina, you're an online personal trainer for midlife women who wish to lose weight, build strength, and proactively prepare for the physical transitions of aging and perimenopausal.
That's it.
Premenopausal.
Perimenopause.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Right. We're going to jump straight into the questions, okay? Because I'm super excited about this one. What has been the reason behind you wanting to help women around the world with their physical health?
Because women are so much physically stronger than they realise. And I think we have forgotten our strength, and we just can sometimes softly move into, aging. I'm in my mid-40s. I don't have the body or the energy that I had 20 years ago. So, just leave it as is. And I am super passionate about helping women to build strength, regain strength, and then set themselves up for a really long, healthy, independent life, free of injury and illness.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually second this. This is something I say to my clients all the time. Women can grow another human inside of them. Like, how incredible is that?
Yeah.
Like, I say this all the time, physical strength for women is so much more important because of how it's going to benefit them long term, like you've just said. So I love the fact that this is something that you're passionate about and something that you do. So strength training. Why is it important for women during perimenopause and menopause?
Yeah. So basically, as you know, we all start losing our muscle mass from kind of our mid-30s. But for women, that really starts to accelerate by our mid-40s, which is when perimenopause pretty much starts to kick in. So with that loss of muscle mass, we know that starts to affect our metabolic health because, lean muscle, we have a nice healthy metabolism.
Yes.
So, we're also prone at this stage of life because of the loss of estrogen. We then start to lay down fat stools quite differently. So instead of more around our hips and thighs, it tends to sit around our abdominal region. And then that can become a very dangerous, toxic type of fat. That abdominal fat's visceral fat sitting around our organs. Yeah. So, the menopause tummy is real, but not for the, aesthetic reasons about gaining the six-pack. It's like I want women to really, improve their inflammation, digestive issues, and then, as an aside, then yes, your waistline does come down. But, the health benefits are super important. So, we start to lose muscle mass, and then also we start to lose bone density as well. And so that makes us more susceptible to falls and fractures as we age and as we start to move into our 50s. And that, once you have one fracture, then, you're much more susceptible to having a second fracture, and on it goes. So muscle mass and bone density for me really means independence and a long and healthy life full of vitality and joy.
Yeah. And I could not agree more with you. I often say weight training is more beneficial for women than it is men by a country mile, because not just of the aesthetic benefits, because let's be real, we see social media, right? And everyone goes, I want that body. But, why don't you just want to be healthier and live a little bit longer and have all these, amazing benefits that come with.
Feel more energized.
Exactly. It's always aesthetics this, aesthetics that. And I think that's the problem, because comparison is the thief of all joy. We keep comparing ourselves to others. I want their body. Well, you don't have the same hip waist ratio, like
anatomy.
You don't have the same anatomy. You have longer arms, longer legs, shorter legs, wider hips, whatever it is. Yep. So it's great to hear that you obviously feel so strongly about the importance of it, and it's the health benefits, isn't it? It's the strength training for not just the physical appearance, but that improvement in bone health as well. That's something I'm so hot on.
Oh, totally. I mean, I had something this week where I actually almost had a really bad fall, and I just literally kind of missed a balance on a gutter. I was walking the dog and I was able to catch myself, but it was really interesting. But, I took the full weight on my arm.
Yeah.
And, the most prominent fractures tend to be in your shoulders, wrists and spine for older women. And it's like, as I said, once you get one fracture, you're more susceptible to another one. And, yes, I was quick, but, but bone density is super important for aging well. And that is what strength training is all about. So you've got these, really powerful health benefits. And then, the aesthetics is the cherry on the cake. It's like, okay, it's nice to feel a bit more confident in your clothes and you feel a bit more toned and defined, and that's all great. But it's like, no, this foundation strength part is really important. Yeah.
So whilst we're on the topic of this, does weightlifting make women bulky? This is one of my favourite things, especially after 40, or is it just a myth?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like it would be nice, and I say it's like I'd love to see you try, because it's like I've been weight training for over a decade now, and it's you have to train like an Olympic athlete, and you have to eat like an Olympic athlete, and you've got to be so on point with your protein. It's like it's not even a concern, But I appreciate that they have these 1980s bodybuilding images in their head, which women were fed, and it's like that's just not even on the table.
No. And even then, we don't know what sort of anabolics these individuals are taking, because that's still rife in females. Like there is. I know females that take things like Anavar or anabolics, and it's like people don't realise like that's a thing. Yeah. Women taking testosterone or performance-enhancing drugs. Anyway. What does future-proofing the body mean in midlife?
Future-proofing the body in midlife is about that independence and free of injury and illness. And this is what I guess is probably my real why behind why I do what I do, because I want women to move into their second act with complete autonomy about how they live their life. And having a strong body with a good amount of lean muscle on you is a good indicator that you will be able to do that. Yeah. And so regular strength training means that you won't, you can pick your luggage up, you can, reach for things, you can go for long hikes and walks, but, you don't want to be the person that's at home going, well, I can't do this because I've got a bad back, I've got bad knees, I'm carrying extra weight, which means that I can't, do as much as I would like because I don't have the energy. It's like, you want to be open to all the wonderful things that are ahead of you, not closed off because of your body won't allow you to do it.
Well, my favourite thing in the rehab world was use it or lose it. Like with any injury, you know, that, I shouldn't move, I'm injured. Why not? Unless you have a break, like the new protocol is police. So like optimal load is one of the parts of this acronym. So, it's important to use our bodies because we do lose it.
Absolutely. And as I said earlier, it's like, and that muscle loss is accelerated in perimenopause, that loss of estrogen. It's like we are losing muscle at a heightened rate. And it's like, I often encourage women, if they're sort of sitting on the fence about strength training, it's more like, well, what will your life look like in 6 months or 12 months, as more months roll by and you're not lifting weights? Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that needs to be pushed, really. I know obviously that's you, and that's something that I definitely push. But I wish more people kind of realize that. It's like I think the education that people have is really poor. However, I do feel that the news is pushing more on health and fitness. There is more and more stuff coming out. Yes, but it's probably out there to benefit medical companies and whatnot. But anyway, so we have brushed upon strength training and why it helps the body. Okay, it improves obviously joint pain, fatigue, and other common symptoms. We've mentioned bone improvement, density. Is there anything else that it might improve, mentally? Yeah, absolutely. And stress is number one. So I sort of have this 5-point framework, really, which is stress, sleep, strength, sustenance, and soul. Okay. So it's like, if we can get our stress under control, because again, particularly in midlife, we've got, long-term marriages and kids that are older that kind of need us and don't need us, and money stress and job stress, and then all to the background of, these hormonal fluctuations that are happening in perimenopause.
And so, women quite often have very heightened cortisol flooding their body. And it's very difficult to make good decisions in life if we are constantly in reactive mode and we're just constantly putting out fires. And so strength training can go a really long way towards helping to calm your nervous system. And I think I quite like the fact that strength training is very repetitive. I'm a very classic trainer. I'm a rinse and repeat. It's, it's that squat, it's that hinge, it's push pull, and a lunge and core and just variations on that, and that's what we do.
Proven to work.
It works.
Why are people trying to reinvent the wheel? It drives me crazy.
And you see these things on Instagram, these kind of girls throwing these dumbbells around, and I'm like going, oh my God, that's like got injury written all over it. Like, what are you doing? It's like, do this and you'll get the six-pack. And it's like, no, don't do that.
No, don't. The six-pack is made in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And with strength training, trust me.
So strength training, obviously, and then also it helps to release those endorphins and help with the cortisol. It's just hugely beneficial.
Yeah, nice. Okay, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted this to be. Insightful information. Right. So we've briefly touched upon how hormonal changes affect muscle and bone health. Can we quickly go back into that? And obviously, we spoke osteoporosis, osteopenia. Is that correct?
Yeah. So weakening of the bones as well. And then again, which women are more susceptible to the men? And I think that is just as something that I am as passionate about, because as I said, there's a very high percentage of women that once they do break or fracture a bone, then you're susceptible to doing that again. And then if you think about that, so you have a broken wrist where you can't drive, you can't, you're relying on other people. And then that means you're also probably more sedentary, which then can lead to easier weight gain.
And upset because you're relying on others. You can't do what you want to do. That's another thing, right?
It's huge.
Yeah, it is. Right. So what signs show it's time to adjust a workout during perimenopause?
So what signs? So when you have been, I have a beginner strength training session, series. Yeah. And a lot of my women that come into my membership, they haven't lifted weights before, or if they have, they haven't for a very long time. So I'm very much about getting them comfortable and confident on the mat, getting really familiar with the moves. And then I start to talk to them about, right, if you're going through a set and this is not feeling challenging to you and you can just comfortably do the 3 sets, I would like you to then invest in another set of dumbbells. And ideally, I'd like you to have a little set lined up in your living room so that you can start to feel by that second or third set that we're squeezing out those last reps. And I think it's very foreign. If you haven't done that, it's a very foreign concept.
Well, funny you say this, because I was actually speaking to producer Kieran earlier about classes and the importance of classes. And I actually feel that a lot of people will do a class and they will come out and they'll look at their watch, which lies to us, by the way, and they'll go, I've done 400 calories. But for years, they haven't changed physically. Yeah. Why do you think that is? Because you're saying you're going to a class, but you're just going to say you've gone. Now, doing is better than anything. This is my biggest thing to clients. Yeah. Never miss 2 days in a row. Just do something, a walk, a session. But if you're going to the gym and you are not seeing improvements and you're not seeing changes, and your first rep looks like your last rep, newsflash, it's not good enough. It's not heavy enough. It's not hard enough. Whatever it might be.
You need to get uncomfortable.
You have to be. I just say the easiest thing to do is if your first rep looks like your last one, do more or go heavier. Yeah. Because the science backs that anything from, I think it's 4 or 5 reps to 30 reps solicits hypertrophy, which is building of muscle tissue. So technically, if you can get to 30 reps and it looks like your first one, you just got to go heavier. Yeah. So, and that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to build and get
break
you stronger.
Down those muscle fibers and build them back stronger.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What's a good first step for women who feel too tired or overwhelmed to exercise? I think you definitely have the answer for this with what you do as well.
Yeah, we need to look. Action's going to come before motivation. Yeah, and just because I'm a PT, I don't wake up every day going, "Yay, I want to work out," But I go through the motions, and some days I'm more energized and my workout's tougher, and other days it's like, do you know what? I'm just going to get on there and I'm going to do my session. But I promise you, as I say to them, it's like my thing is, it's like just commit for 4 weeks, 3 times a week for 4 weeks, and I said there is no way you are not going to feel the benefits physically, mentally, and spiritually within yourself. You know, it's like it delivers. Your body's going to pay you back tenfold. So little and often, but consistency is queen. Yeah. Consistency is queen in my world.
Yeah, I know, and I love that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I do think consistency, you know, I've been saying this a lot this week. Never miss 2 days. You know, because it's the start of a new habit. If you're trying to break a cycle and you're trying to get away from old habits, old habit of you is, I trained Monday, I won't go to Tuesday, I'm tired. Wednesday, it's hump day, you know, I'm going to stay home. And then already you've missed twice. But then Thursday's already Friday, because we all know what Thursday's like when you live in London or you live a busy life. And then Friday, you're going out for dinner or you're doing this, you're doing that. And then Saturday, you can't, you're busy with the kids or whatever. And then Sunday, you're like, well, it's Monday tomorrow. And then guess what? You've only trained once. And it's that vicious cycle. So if you just say, I won't skip 2 days in a row, you know, if that's your steps, if that's your water, if that's, you know, doing your classes, because you do 3, so that's perfect, right? That works out perfectly. So
that's showing up for yourself as well. And like you make that commitment, and it's like, you know, as I say to my clients, it's like, you know, this is important to me and this matters. And it's not always easy, but that's all right. You know, that's okay.
Well, you matter, right? That's the thing. And that's one of my biggest things I say to people. You know, most women I work with struggle to prioritize themselves. They are always the second option. Well, newsflash. If you fall and hurt yourself, if you fall ill, if you have something terrible happen to you, who looks after you? Who looks after the ones that you love then? If you care so much, look after yourself first.
And absolutely.
Because it reflects on everything else.
You're doing it for the ones you love as well. Because I'll say, you know, it's like you want to have all these experiences with your kids and your grandkids, and it's like we don't want to be tired and, you know, not energized. And it is hard with the hormonal fluctuations. You know, it is a bit more uphill, but it's like if we just have a system, as I talk about this framework and a system in place, it becomes a lot easier and a lot more manageable.
So you mentioned that you do all your workouts home-based with weights, correct?
In my living room.
Okay, amazing. So how effective are home workouts compared to gym-based workouts?
They're super effective. I do, in my challenges, we do 4 workouts a week, and I would say most of my women do 3 of them. And they can just choose which ones, whether it's glutes or full body, whatever they want to focus on. But incredibly effective. But as I will say to them, don't get comfortable with those weights. I'd like you to have a nice set of weights, and so that those last few reps are, you know, a bit uncomfortable and challenging. And absolutely, you can build strength from home. And I've seen too much evidence. I've got so many clients that like say, "Oh, I can't believe I can shoulder press an 8-kilo weight." I mean, and they're so proud of themselves, as they should be.
And so they should be, exactly. So they should be. So you said how often women should, you know, strength train 3 to 4 times a week. You know, you can split that. You can do full body, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. You know, what exercises would you recommend or maybe avoid for this group?
Oh my goodness. I mean, the thing is that I always try and offer modifications if I can. You know, well, no, I do offer modifications, but I mean, in terms of the main exercises that I love, I mean, the squat, you can't go wrong with the squat.
Nope.
And the deadlift. And, you know, women often look at a deadlift and like, oh, but I've got a bad back. And I'm like, yeah, but that's precisely why you need to do the deadlift, because we need to get those glutes fired up and then strengthen the back. And so, you know, squats and deadlifts are my 2 go-to.
There you go. And I couldn't agree more.
And probably then followed by hip thrusts.
Yeah, I was just about to say, for me, a hip thrust.
Because we're all sitting. We're all sitting. We've got to get those glutes fired up.
You want to work them glutes. You got to use them. Use it or lose it, right? Right. Final question. What's the most important message you want women in midlife to hear about their health and strength?
Most important message is that I think what I started with, you're so much stronger than you realise. And honestly, 3 30-minute workouts a week can completely change your life, though, in a much shorter period time frame than you think is possible. And what it's going to give back to you is tenfold. And you know, as I said, yes, the aesthetics is a cherry on the cake, but in terms of your bone health and your muscle health and how it affects your metabolism and your energy and improves your sleep and helps you to manage stress, it's like it's gives you everything.
Amazing, honestly. You have been fantastic. Where can people find you? Thank you so much for your time. Where can people find you online? Do you have a website? Do you have social media? Please tell us everything.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. So Edwina Jenner Coaching. It's where most of my members find me. And then I also have a website, edwinajenner.co.uk. And then and you can join the membership there. And all through Instagram is pretty much the best way. Edwina Jenner Coaching.
Amazing. Edwina, thank you so much for your time. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Joining us now is Jodie Breakwell. Jodie is a qualified nutritionist who specialises in creating programs and changes people's perspectives on eating habits. Jodie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you very much for joining me. Another interview I'm super excited to talk to you about. We're going to dive straight into it, okay?
Okay.
Can you tell us about your journey into becoming a nutritionist?
Okay, so my journey actually kind of like starts with me. So I was back to uni now. Gosh, I'm showing my age, but a few years ago, I was 20 kilos overweight. I wasn't in a good place, physically, mentally, my habits were, gosh, when I think back, just not where you want them to be.
No.
And I basically moved to Cardiff, got out of a not so great relationship, and I thought, right, this is my time to shine, sort of thing. And there wasn't much out there. Like, it was only 4 or 5 years ago, but I didn't really have, the resources, the knowledge, anything like that. So I joined Slimming World,
Okay.
which
The
wasn't.
cult? I mean, sorry,
best.
did I just say that? Sorry.
So,
I mean, the cult.
yeah,
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
No, I think we all, well, I know a lot of us have the same opinion. So I didn't know much about nutrition. So joined Slimming World, lost some weight. But again, it just wasn't the best, let's just leave it as that,
Yeah.
experience for me. And then, yeah, I kind of went on to like losing weight, but I knew nothing about nutrition, nothing about tracking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually won a 12-week program.
Oh,
And at the time, I was like, oh my God, amazing. This is gonna, I'm gonna thrive. It's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to me. And unfortunately, it was kind of the opposite, came with a lot of problems. It was very meal plan
oh
restrictive. For the first 3 weeks, there were only a certain amount of foods that I was kind of like allowed to have. And then every Saturday was kind of like a cheat meal for myself. So like, yes, I lost weight, but I also lost that bubbliness, that energy. Like when I look back at pictures now, I just think, oh my God, like I honestly don't even recognize myself.
yeah.
And it came with a lot of disordered eating, a bad, quote unquote, bad relationship with food. And yeah, back to your question, I kind of went through like this massive journey. And then one day after healing that relationship, because I pulled myself out of that, and I'm really proud of that because I think I could have gone down like a darker path
You
if
should
I'm
be
honest
proud of
with you.
yourself, by the way. It's amazing.
So, oh, thanks. So I kind of got myself out of that, learned about nutrition, did all these qualifications. And honestly, one day it genuinely was like a light bulb moment. And I just thought, oh my God, like I could do this. I could actually help women lose weight, but whilst enjoying their favorite foods. And that is, like you said at the beginning, that is literally my ethos, is because I've been down the restrictive path and cutting out chocolate and pizza and this, that, and the other. And so what I help women do is, yes, to lose fat, but build that relationship with food so that they're actually like loving their life again while still making progress and helping them avoid that path that I went down, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense, and this is absolutely music to my ears because I have people start up with me, and they'll go a week and they'll go, oh, I avoided cake today, and I go, why? And they're like, oh, because cake's bad for you. I was like, is it? I was like, why is it bad for you? And they'd go, oh, is it not bad for me? I'll go, well, if you eat a whole cake, it's bad for you. If you eat a whole field of vegetables, that's bad for you. Like, too much of anything is bad for you, but everything in moderation is absolutely acceptable. And I love the fact that, I don't love the fact that you had to go through this journey for this, but I love the fact that where you are now in your journey, and that's exactly what you teach, because this is what we want, people. This is what we need from health and fitness experts, people that are experts in their department, teaching us healthy habits. So this is amazing. Okay. Absolutely love this. So I'm really, really glad you're here. What would you say is the most common misconception people have about a healthy diet? I don't like using the word diet, by the way, but we're going to say
Yeah, no, neither
healthy
do I,
diet.
like in quotations.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I
Healthy
get you.
diet.
Um, if I'm honest, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that there's like one perfect way to eat.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? I think that people think being healthy means, like you just said, never touching cake or pizza or ice cream or like cutting out carbs. That's like a massive one.
Oh, God.
And,
We'll
you
get
know,
onto
living
that.
off salad and things. And I just believe that if you stick those foods in like a box and you like label that box like, I don't know, like banned or off limits or whatever, that is not a sustainable way of living. Like we cannot live, and why would we want to live life without those foods? So I think like people think they need to go into this like massive, like all or nothing, get rid of all those foods mentality, when in reality, I think it's more about balance and consistency
Mm-hmm.
and what actually fits like into your life. Because I just feel that food, as you, it should be enjoyable. And I think if it feels like a punishment, it's not going to last. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not going to be sustainable for you. So I think it's like trying to wean off kind of like those strict rules and more like building like habits that you can actually stick to long term.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a big advocate for, if you can change your lifestyle, it fuels the mindset. And if you can
Yes.
fuel the mindset, it changes your body.
Yeah, it literally just links
It
in together.
literally all happens. Okay.
Yeah,
And by lifestyle, I mean, moving a little bit more, eating a little bit better. But again,
yeah,
it's not eating a little bit better. It's not having 4 takeaways a week, or not going out for 4 meals or 2 meals a week. Because, I never have requested a client to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice.
oh no,
Never. I mean,
ever.
don't get me wrong. I love a normal, simple meal from time to time. Couple of
Yeah,
times a week, great. But if you don't love it, you're not going to stick to it. So newsflash, if you're not going to stick to it, how are you meant to change your life?
yeah, literally. And I think that kind of like links back into like the quick fixes. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
literally labeled that for a reason, because it's a quick fix that
Mm.
is, it's, maybe going to get you to a place like I say that that program did for me. But then it was like, then what? You
Yeah.
can't live a life
You've left me
continuing
with
to just eat
problems.
that food. Yeah, so it's just like you're then in this place where, and I think that's where a lot of the women that I coach, they, are stuck with emotional eating or yo-yo dieting. So
Mm-hmm.
they can lose the weight, they can get the weight off, but they can't keep it off.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, that's essentially what you're saying there, really.
So we'll go on to this topic, because this is actually quite an important one. So how do you recommend balancing macronutrients, like in a daily meal plan or in a daily breakdown? Like, what would you usually recommend for people?
Mm.
Obviously,
Yeah, no,
everyone's different, but like, what would you genuinely
yeah.
recommend?
Yeah, no, I think that I mean, again, it depends on you and your lifestyle, but personally, I feel that planning for the week ahead it just really helps with that stress and that overwhelm, and you can just feel more in control for the week. Even if you're not able to, plan meals because people say like, "Oh, I haven't got time to make this, that, and the other." Even if you have like different protein sources cooked up in the fridge and like a veg medley or whatever that you can then kind of like put together.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to explain macronutrients or macros to my clients as like a team, if that makes sense. Like each one of them has a role, each one of them has a place. And I think again, like carbs have been demonized, fats have been demonized. Like we know protein is we know how important it is. We know, the benefits, and
Yeah.
obviously it being the most satiating macro, that's going to obviously help with fat loss and things like that. But I think it's just important to remember that carbs and fats, they have their place as well.
Hmm.
Um, particularly for, healthy fats supporting hormone balance and stuff. Like I primarily work with women, and carbs as well. Like when I think, like I say, looking back to those pictures, I think one of the reasons I feel I look so drained and deflated, a little life in me, was because carbs is obviously main source of energy, and I was barely having
Oh,
that. I wasn't having that fuel, that energy that I needed.
yeah.
And yeah, so I think that like incorporating all of them is key. So if you're thinking about like breakfast, for example, like any ladies out there that are listening that are just grabbing like a slice of toast for breakfast, or something like that, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're getting like a little boost of energy in the morning. However, thinking about your balance of macros, like maybe you could have that toast, but with some egg and avocado and some turkey bacon, just so you've got like the team working together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely think that looking, even if like literally just 5-10 minutes, just sit down and have a think about like what you want to get in, what you've got in the fridge. So I think that planning something really last minute, it's going to be harder to
Yeah.
tick all those boxes.
I think for me, I always make sure I have a source of protein, like you said, in the fridge. Cooked, uncooked,
Yeah,
it's there, it's ready.
ready.
Okay, I've got frozen prawns in the freezer for an emergency, unless I fancy a beef and prawn stir fry or something really fancy. Okay, and I've always got microwavable rice. And if I don't
Yes,
have
yeah.
veg, fine, I don't have veg, but I can have veg another time. If I had to rustle something together really quickly, I've always got options. I've got noodles and stuff like that. So there's always an option. Frozen jacket potatoes, always an option. Really easy to do. So like just
Mm.
simple things like that. But okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a difference between clean eating and eating whole foods?
Ah, So I'm not sure what your
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your opinion is on this, but for me, like Whole Foods, right? Going into the supermarket, that's foods closest to the natural state, isn't it? Like if
From
you
the
go in and like,
ground,
pick
yeah.
up like,
Yeah.
yeah, come from the ground, so like sweet potato or
Hmm.
fruit, like fish, that kind of thing. Clean eating, I don't like the phrase. I just don't like it because I feel like it's more of like a trend, if I
Hmm.
can say that.
Yeah, no, you
I
can say
just
that,
feel
yeah.
that like it can cause a bit of a problem because again, it's labeling foods as like good and bad, clean and like what's the opposite of that? Do you know what I mean? Dirty. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
just
no,
feel,
you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, technically, what are we
you
going
know
to
what I
eat?
mean?
Dirty foods. I mean, yeah, I'll let you
It's just
continue, but
mad. And then it can create again like that shame, that guilt, and then
hmm
you just find yourself in like the same cycle.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just I mean, I'm not sure what your opinion is, but I feel like there's quite a substantial difference between the two.
yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm yet to have a disagreement or argue with someone on on a show before. Um, but obviously, if I have a different opinion, then I would I would disagree. But I totally agree with you. I mean, I think we've both hit the nail on the head multiple times.
Yeah,
Balance.
literally. Like
Sprinkle
balance
everything
is,
in.
say it all the time. Balance is key. Moderation
Stuff
is
from the
key
ground, great. You want a cake? Great. You want some ice cream? Great. Just don't eat the whole tub and the whole cake, and you're
every day.
probably great. You'll be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Going on to that, portion control. How important
Mm,
is portion control when trying to maintain a? I've put healthy weight, but obviously we're not going to go off what BMI is because I'm technically morbidly obese. I'm 125 kilos. I am not morbidly obese.
yeah.
So we'll go with not the BMI grading, and we'll just go with a healthy weight. We'll just stick with that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it does come down to portion control, doesn't it? Because essentially, when you're on a weight loss journey, I know it's just said time and time again, but like you need to be in a calorie deficit. So
It's the only thing, right?
So, like, even if you're having like the quote unquote healthiest foods, but you're having obviously more than what your body needs, then you're not going to be able to maintain your weight, let alone like lose it. I think that obviously everybody has different opinions on tracking and things like that. I think it's a really helpful tool. I don't think it's like a lifelong thing,
Hmm.
but I think to begin with, it's really helpful for helping you become aware of what's in food, how much you're eating. Like a lot of ladies that start with me, they think they're eating a certain amount of like consuming a certain amount of calories, and then they're forgetting about like their milk in their coffee, their olive oil on their food, like
Oh,
all these different things. And then they're
yeah,
like, oh my God, like, I'm eating quite a lot of food here.
yeah.
So I think that that can be like a really helpful tool. Um, but the other thing, actually, thinking about like portions and just hunger in general, is another thing that I don't feel we, like, I suppose, like a nation do enough is actually paying attention to our like hunger and fullness cues. Like, how often do we come in from like a busy day at work and sit in front of the
Guilty.
telly? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sit in front of the telly, like it's natural. Like, I'm not saying that I don't do that as well, like, but I'm even me consciously, I'm like, no, 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 like I need to start getting to like a better routine of like sitting at the table, like enjoying the flavors, the textures.
Mm.
And because I mean, I was having a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and she'd said that she'd gone through like five, six biscuits without even realizing because she was just like watching the telly and like not aware of, do you know what I mean?
My client did the exact same thing yesterday, and she told me that she went, I ate 6 lemon slices. But she was like, but I tracked it. I went, so? You tracked it. You were in your calories, you're in your macros. Who cares if you had 6 lemon slices? But I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's just yeah, I just think like paying attention to how full you
Yeah.
feel and stuff is like helpful. And
Hmm.
also it sounds so simple, but like the size of your plate,
Oh, huge,
you
huge.
know what I
Psychological
mean?
games, honestly. I play psychological games with myself all the time when it comes to food and so on. Sometimes I cook 2 portions of food and then I'll eat maybe a portion and a half, but I'll know that I'm not going to cook another meal that day. So technically, I've cooked the 2 portions because
Mm,
that's all I'm having. So then I
yeah,
sprinkle in stuff before and after or during, and it's
yeah.
down to me. Or I don't have anything in the fridge on purpose so that I don't continue. We are actually really short on time, so we're going to
Okay.
have to call it there, sadly. I really wanted to actually ask you a couple more questions, but it's fine. We will have to get you to come back another time because I'm sure we have lots more to talk about.
Yeah, I would honestly love that. I've really enjoyed it. I've really
Good.
enjoyed it.
Well,
So thank you for asking.
we've loved having you. Jodie, where can we find you online? Do you have a website?
So
Do you have social media?
yeah, social media. So that's my main kind of like platform. And my Instagram is Jodie B Nutrition. So if you want to follow me, send me a message. Like I love, as you probably can tell from today, I really love talking to people and helping people. But yeah, that's like my main. I am on TikTok as well, but like Insta is like I'm still getting into grips with TikTok, if I'm really honest, like probably show my age again, but yeah, Instagram primarily.
Amazing. Well, Jodie, thank you again so much for your time. You have a great rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll speak soon. This week, I'm reacting to some more viral TikToks that claim to have the top 10 unwritten gym rules. Number 1, bring a towel. I am guilty of this one. I do not bring a towel. However, in France, we are not in France, but in France, I'm going to tell you anyway. In France, you are not allowed in a gym without a towel. I'm not sure what it's like in the US, in other parts of Europe, or other parts of the world. There are other parts of the world, obviously. But yeah, so you actually cannot go in a gym. They will literally say to you, do you have a towel with you? If not, they will provide you with one, but you cannot physically go in the gym without having a towel, either for your sweaty body or to put on the seat, okay? So bring a towel. I'm guilty of not doing. So I would say, no, don't do it. Do it if you're smelly or you aren't particularly a clean person. But I don't smell of roses. 2, don't drop weights excessively. Guilty. Am I going to be guilty of all of these, by the way, guys? Like, the crowd is saying yes. So don't drop weights excessively. Well, technically, if you train correctly, you will be pretty damn fatigued. Now, we're talking, I'm thinking an overhead snatch. I'm not going to drop it from the whole height, but that's actually the hardest exercise to actually bring down. But like a deadlift, I don't deadlift, I trap bar or whatever, but I wouldn't technically drop it unless I was doing a powerlifting movement, which technically you would be in a powerlifting gym, so it would be acceptable. So if you're in a commercial gym, don't drop your weights from anything probably above the knee. Anything below the knee, I think, is more than acceptable, unless it's on a hard floor. Then sack that off. Next, keep noise reasonable. I'm not going to make the noises that I made earlier to producer Kieran because they were pretty disturbing. But yeah, I think grunting is a very questionable thing to do in public. So yeah, we'll keep the noise down. I'm guilty of it because sometimes I'm going hell for leather, but in more ways than one. But yeah, keep the noise reasonable. I think we should definitely keep that down. Don't give unsolicited advice. I did this yesterday, actually. I am getting booed. So actually there was a young gentleman with his mother. She was trying to teach him, and I saw him doing a movement extremely badly for his back, and I just thought, I'm going to be that guy. I was actually having a great session. I was feeling myself. I was in a really good mood. I wanted to talk to someone. And yeah, I just went, I'm really sorry, but can I give you some advice? And the mum was like, yeah, he's not going to listen to me. So I helped him. I used to coach youngsters back when I was younger, back when I worked in professional sport. I worked with some youngsters, and I helped them learn how to do movements correctly to help them actually do the movements. And that's my biggest thing. When I do one-to-one sessions or I coach, I actually coach. It's not about beasting you. It's about making sure you do the movements properly and you activate everything correctly. So I think this is super frowned upon, which is exactly why I did it, and most things I currently do. So yeah, do not give unsolicited advice unless you are trained to do it, and they kind of look like they want it, and I'm pretty sure they look like they wanted some advice. I mean, I'm getting frowned at. I don't think they did. Right, next, don't hog equipment. Okay, now, this is going to tie in with don't sit on equipment whilst resting. So don't hog equipment. I don't know many people that would probably do more than 4 or 5 sets, maybe 6. So if you are sat on a piece of equipment or you are training with a friend and you guys think you're hogging the equipment and someone says, how long do you have left? Invite them in. Meet someone new, but don't hog equipment. Okay, we all pay a membership. When people ask me, how many sets do I have left? And I've just started, I often say, I've got 3 or 4 sets left, but I'm more than happy with you joining me. Okay, most people in the UK don't talk to each other in gyms. They're a little bit awkward, a little bit shy. That's fine. But I often say to people, please join me. I'm more than happy for you to share the equipment with me. I will take the weights off if we are lifting different weights, which I normally tend to. Not trying to show off, but yeah. So, respecting personal space. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. Don't stand on top of people in the gym. Like, you wouldn't stand on them in the shower, so why would you stand on them in the gym? I'm being looked at funny. Sorry. Depends what they're into. Dress appropriately. This is a huge thing. I see people in jeans and Birkenstocks. What are you doing? When has that ever been appropriate at the gym? If that is you, please ring in, come sit in the studio with me, and we will debate. Because that is unacceptable behavior. It's like, I'm going to put this in the same bracket as not wearing deodorant if you have smelly armpits. If you know you are a naturally smelly, odorous person, please wear perspirant, antiperspirant, please. Because it is a big, big, big red flag. Okay? So if that is you, ring in, contact us. Reply on Instagram. Reply? Anyway, I'm losing it here. Don't sit on equipment whilst resting. We've kind of covered this one as hogging. I have once said to someone, how many text messages do you have left? I got a pretty nasty look. I would not recommend it, but I also wouldn't recommend just sitting there. Yeah, I sit and rest on the machines, but when someone asks to share, I say, yes, share. Last one, wiping down equipment. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so I'm pretty guilty of... I'm pretty guilty of not really doing this one, and I'm going to run it back to the fact that I'm not a naturally smelly person. I have done, but we're talking maybe less than 2% of the times. I often wear a hoodie when I'm training, so like the sweat doesn't really go anywhere or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, not sure if I should be admitting this one, but I'm going to because I own my shit. You should wipe down equipment. Straight up, wipe down your equipment. Oh, actually, I missed one more. Be on time for classes. So, yeah, you should be on time. If you aren't on time, there's no such thing as on time. There's no such thing as early. There's only on time. So, yeah, own a watch. Most of you have Apple Watches, Fitbits, Whoops, whatever they are. All of these gizmos. Be on time. It's rude. And this is an individual who's putting on a class for you, trying to help you. So please turn up on time. Now, we are sadly not going to have time for... Actually, you know what? A listener question. I want to start going to the gym lately, and I find myself getting a lot of content online about supplements and shakes. What supplements would you recommend? I'm going to give you this one really, really quickly. Creatine, electrolytes, protein. They're your three most important things. Electrolytes for hydration, creatine for cognitive and physiological benefits, and protein because you need protein. And that's it, guys. A massive roundup and a thank you to our guests today, Jodie and Edwina. I just want to thank you guys for coming today. You guys were fantastic. A reminder that you guys can download the app and listen each week and follow us on social media. We are at What the Health on Instagram. If you would like some help with your health and fitness journey, I provide a top tier coaching service, no BS, problem solving and hand holding every step of the way. If you are interested, please contact me at Georges Berthonneau on Instagram. The show will be available to listen back to on all good podcasting platforms. A massive thank you from me. I'm back next week at 11 a.m. for another jam-packed show. I'm Georges. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.